Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast, the only podcast that you didn't know you needed. I like to say to my friends here, got a girlfriend running on soul, gave her the big speaker stereo, blasting out that rock and roll. Oh, yeah. Say hello, Josh.
The last track on the Man in Motion record. Good job, good job.
In honor of Mr. Kelly Keagy himself, Brentry, any thoughts on that song? You want to throw some lyrics, or you think you got enough of it?
I think I got enough of it. Fantastic album. I got the background. That was coincidental. And I love the fact that you're trying to hide your allergies. And Josh and I really do appreciate it. No sniffling in the microphone, no blowing your nose, no hold the Coke bottle up to your eyes.
I'm in a darkened room, so you really can't see my face too well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Love it.
Better from back here like this.
That's all right.
Hoodles. So we are here. This episode, we're going into the breakup years. This is the years where things were kind of just going their own way. Everybody's they broke up. So
yeah.
We're going to break down what Josh knows and what he's going to tell us about what was going on with every band member, not just what we know with Jack and the Damn Yankees and what have you. But the previous episode, one we just released was Kelly Keagy Part 3. Am I correct on that?
Kelly Keagy Part 3.
Kelly Keagy Part 3. That will be the... right now, that's where we're going to kind of obviously cut off from the Kelly Keagy saga, hopefully to pick it back up soon. But, yeah, I mean, it's every hardcore Night Ranger fan. It's the ultimate Kelly Keagy interview. I mean, 3 hours of just talking about his life and career, and we don't even get up to the release date of Dawn Patrol. So,
right.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and they answered a lot of questions that we've had for decades.
And we all learned stuff, definitely. And as well as a page, the response from the people on the page and their comments, it's just been fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, two things. So everybody, hopefully, they understand that, we're on Kelly's schedule. So when you say there's going to be for now, it's just we have to work around Kelly's availability, and they're kind of busy right now with something. So that's why when Josh, I think, says there'll be a little bit of a break, it's just we're at his mercy right now. So, but as far as the comments, I mean, I've seen so many great comments.
Sure.
Like on the YouTube page, there was a guy who was like, "This." He's like, "This is the interview people have wanted to see or hear," and it was something like that. And I commented to him, and I think Brent, you can probably correct me. I think it was on Kathy Kirkman Lane's post where I said they were talking about me falling down or whatever, and I said, look, you got to understand all of this. I mean, I know me and Brent, Josh, I assume my walls were covered with posters. You couldn't see any square inch of my bedroom walls when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a wall for Kiss, and there was a wall for Night Ranger. I mean, I had Kelly and Jack and Brad on my walls, and now I get to sit in and not only talk to him, but I get to be a first person witness to his stories. It's just it's hard. I don't know if everybody can comprehend the excitement in a little kid from Cincinnati, Ohio.
And the fact that he trusts us to tell these stories that I don't know that he's ever told.
Well, I don't think anyone's gone in depth. And again, kudos to Josh for really keeping it on a timeline and then letting him talk. Like Josh jumps in, here's the question, and then we just step back and just let Kelly say what he needs to say. I mean, it's not no hot sister Christian talk yet.
Well, the good thing is we're getting it all documented. This is the stuff that us, like I said, us hardcore Night Ranger fans that have been fans for decades. This is all that mystery stuff that we're hopefully starting to at least sort out or get a picture of, and they're great stories. Just hearing his first meetings with Jack and Brad and Fitz and Jeff, and what's great too is you get some of the story of these important people in their careers that are often overlooked. Pat Glasser, Bruce Byrd, Neil Bogart. So you get those stories as well. So hopefully, and we're talking and figuring out schedules and everything. We'll pick back up, and we will have hopefully Kelly Keagy part 4 through part 96. So just give us a little time to get it all recorded and edited and all that stuff.
And just hearing him talking about Joyce Bogart and her ideas just coming out of her mouth, and next thing you know, it comes to fruition. They're up by the, what was it, where the big telescope is,
the observatory,
and they go
and
they go into the woods, and it's just fantastic minutia.
And it's like if you about, remember they put the red lights underneath their feet, and I always thought they used real lasers, but I guess they are photoshopped. But anyways, good stuff that you find out. But even that story was, we didn't know if they were all standing there or if there was pictures that were cropped in on the back, and they're like, no, they were all standing there. So those Japanese fans are going to have to track down those that forest and
get some red lights.
Yep, and redo it.
What's crazy is I've been to that area, the Griffith Observatory there in L.A. It's a famous landmark. You would see it if you've seen any aerial shots of Hollywood. And I'm like, now I know that. I was like, oh my God, I was accidentally there. Mm-hmm. Not where they took the pictures, but I know where they were now, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I couldn't resist showing him our cover art. I couldn't resist it.
Well, he likes it. I mean, again, I hope that they are seeing this and they're all laughing about it. And
we're fans.
We're nerds.
Yeah.
Good nerds, though. But we're nerds that can still rock in America, and we can openly speak about the Tenderloin life without having an embarrassment.
And plus, we've been there since day one. Yeah. Day one of Night Ranger, anyway.
Yeah.
Night Ranger. We didn't know. We had no clue then.
Yeah. So, anything else, Josh? You want to comment on that last Kelly episode?
No. Well, one cool thing was there was a guy from Australia leaving.
Oh God, yeah.
Talking about him watching us. So, we bad, we worldwide. So,
Josh, I was sitting at my kitchen table last night reading the things, and I looked at my daughter that you just met. I went, Australia. This guy's in Australia watching us. Yeah. And she's like,
no cares, does she?
You know what? She's like, I get to do it every day for free.
Yeah. She's like, I listen to you for nothing.
I'm like, well, he gets to do it for free too.
True. That's true. Yeah. All right. So that's it for that. Anything else, Josh, you want to add if we go on to the news?
Move us along.
Night Ranger news, Josh. Do we have anything to want to talk about?
There's not anything hot breaking. Well, we know the album is finished. We know that they were doing photo shoots and video shoots and all that good stuff by them posting stuff on the Instagrams and stuff with Eric, and they even posted a short video talking about the new album coming out. So it's going to be here this summer. Hopefully, everything should be done. With the vaccinations and everything, they're starting to open up some shows. They are playing early in May in Houston. And then at the end of May, I think they're in South Dakota, and I think they announced a new show in Nebraska. I'll let you guys, Google those and find. It's in Sioux Falls, I think, South Dakota. The Nebraska show, I think, was just announced, so that would be that same weekend. And then there's the July show in Indiana, and there's a few more. Some of them have been updated on websites, some have not. So, there's some shows coming up and the new album coming out. So that's it for now.
Yeah, it was cool seeing that video and trying to decipher what letters they were saying. And then the camera turns around and there's Kevin Baldus from Lit also now a professional photographer taking their photos, and
So
that was cool for me.
I saw the video, but I didn't hear the audio. So did they lip sync the album title?
No, they just said the letters of there was like 5 letters, and I forget what they were.
We assume it was the initials for the album title. I don't know if we know what it is, but didn't Jax figure it out?
Yeah, so I went online and I'm trying to plug in combinations of these letters to see if anything for abbreviations would come.
What letters did you have?
I didn't write them down here.
I'd have to look. It was like
NTBB something,
Oh. Well, you say 5 letters, you say acronym, just being in the military, I think FUBAR.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, I called that.
Which would describe 2020 pretty well. All right. What we got next there?
I just want to mention, I don't know if you want to talk about it here on the news or not, but there was some controversy about Eric firing Jack Blades. I don't know what you know about that, Josh.
Well,
if you want to address that, I mean, that is some hot topic. And
well, it's not a surprise. Anybody that's, just somewhat close to the band, you can just tell that Jack's attention has been elsewhere, and I
mean, you kind of say he's phoning it in as a songwriter and a bass player. It's just kind of like,
and I think Eric summed it up best when he said that Jack just hasn't been pulling his weight, and that's not that much weight. So anyways, our April Fool's joke went over well. I created that just goofing around one morning, and my favorite part, the part where I giggled so much, was he just wasn't pulling his weight.
Yeah.
And I was like, should I post? I'm like, like most good decisions I do, I'm like, if someone doesn't like it, I'll just work it on the back end.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then you get to see the people who are like, how can Eric fire Jack? And I'm just like,
yeah.
Like,
it was great. I mean,
how did you survive 50 years? But
I'll say, as I was scrolling through and I saw that, I mean, my first thought was like, what? And I was like, oh, it's April Fool's. But I was like, and then I started reading, and I'm like, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure Eric can't fire Jack. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen any contracts.
I had to, well, how can he do that? I'm like, go look at your calendar.
Yeah. But I laughed. I thought it was great. I wish I'd have thought of it.
And they all had fun with it, so it was a good time. So, yes. How do I top it next year?
Start working on it now.
No, I do have an idea, but go on.
Well, let's move on. Anything new that we've gotten collection-wise since the last time we've spoken?
This didn't cost me much, but I went ahead and picked it up. This is from, I think these were given out to, these were with the Classic Rock magazine that comes out. I think it's still around.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. Hold on.
They would come with a CD, and this has different bands on it: Whitesnake, Blackstone Cherry, Black Country Communion. But track 14, Night Ranger.
That is a great song.
With Bye Bye Baby, Not Tonight. So it's just kind of, it's a compilation, but what's great is it's not your typical 80s Night Ranger. It was new Night Ranger at the time, 2011, which is hard to believe it's 10 years ago. But just something little. It didn't cost me much, and it's cool to have. So that is all that's new in my collection.
I'd say, I don't think Brent's going to bring up the March Midnight Madness in his segment, but Bye Bye Baby should have gone further. There are some issues I'm having with your tournament. I'm having some real Sophie's choices with these decisions.
Hey, man.
Oh, it's rigged.
It's not. I know. It's
rigged.
What the thing that I think is, and I forget who. Some people, more than one person has brought it up on the post, is that sadly the classic is always going to just default. I mean, it's just, we're eventually going to weed out anything newer, and I'm not mad about that, but there are certain new songs that should have a better shot at life. So, and that's
Listen,
one of them. Bye Bye Baby.
If a new song can't beat out, the ninth best song on Seven Wishes, then I can't help it. And there's 5 classic albums, and there's how many, there's 3, 4, 7. There's 7 other studio albums besides the classic, 5. So it's just you're going to have, and if it's a real tournament, the classic songs are going to be the higher ranked, and the newer songs are going to be lower ranked, and they're going to have to go against each other. But
brutal. It's brutal. Some of these have been hard.
So yeah.
Well, especially with the Don't Let Up stuff.
Yeah.
It was pinned up against stuff that
it's classic.
It's just.
Well, listen. Comfort Me beat Wild and Innocent Youth.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a better song. I voted for Comfort Me.
So, Lay It On Me made it pretty far. I mean, I can't help if, the best song off Somewhere in California can't beat, Interstate Love Affair. I mean, there's nothing else I can do about that. But anyways, let's move on.
All right. Brent, do you have any Fans in Motion related information you want to share with us?
I have 3 tonight, and I've got a new way of showing this to everybody. It's full screen. Still going to be a third on the screen, but David Alpizar showed us a badass tour book from Japan of the Hole in the Sun tour. Josh, do you have this tour book?
I do, I think, yes.
Dumb question then, huh?
Well, there's some I don't have. There's I want to say there's a High Road one that's out there. I don't have it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I mean, I could, but I don't think.
Well, that was really cool. Thank you, David, for posting that. And I know Josh will love this one.
Yep.
This one comes from Brian Capp. This is what was it? A newspaper, Josh?
Well, I think he was working in like college radio or something, and they, along with maybe their newspaper, went to the show, and he got the photos. That's why they're black and white, because they were taken for the newspaper. But they were excellent photos, just like the ones you got there. And there's a great one of Gary Moon, and so just those were from '92, so those are almost 30 years old.
Well, and the fact that they popped up on this page, and none of us have ever seen this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I know you gave a shout out to Gary. I don't know if he saw them or not.
I don't know if he did, but yeah, they're just fantastic, live photos from 30 years ago. You can't beat that.
Absolutely. Love it.
And our final one is going to be Scott Metzelfeld. Got his scrapbooks out.
Yeah, look at that.
And I thought it was pretty cool seeing some of this old stuff. And I just think it's cool what we did as kids. I know Andy's got a scrapbook.
I do. I have it not close by. I can't read it.
And I believe Scott's new to the page. I think this was his first post, second post. We had a lot of new people.
He's posted some stuff before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But
we've had a lot of people this past 2 weeks joining the page. And for all that are listening or watching, welcome to the group. You have no idea how much you're going to love this group. And
it's just neat after doing the Kelly Keagy interview, and you see that that's probably stuff that's done. It's probably a lot of that's Midnight Madness, maybe a little bit of Seven Wishes there, but and 5 years before that, they're just meeting and playing as range. It's just crazy to see how quick they go from opening for Motorhead and getting spit on to people all around the country are some teenage kids in his room creating a scrapbook. So just neat to see that that progression. So we do have a contest that I need to do. It is for the Brad Gillis Night Ranger guitar pick.
Look at that.
And the James Young Sticks pick. So here is who I got to enter in. Fred Leesburg, Sean McSparron, Lisa Johnson Haynes, John Reed, Tom Sparrow, Kathy Kirkman Lane, Darren Smith, John Davey, Greg Olin, and Emily Medler. So let me get these tore off and put in there.
Can I make a prediction?
We will draw for the Brad Gillis guitar pick first.
Andy.
I'm going to set my drum up next time. I got my drum set sitting right here.
All right, here we go.
Darn it. I can't.
I saw John.
John Davey. No, John
That's
Reed.
who I
Sorry.
swear to God, that's who I was
Sorry,
going to
John
say is probably
Davey.
going to win.
No,
It's John Reed.
John Reed.
Oh, damn it. John Davies, who I thought.
I just saw John, and yeah, I forgot there was two.
Way to
Johns.
go, Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to go, Steve Harvey. John Reed.
Get a hold of me, John Davey. I might have some for you, too. So here's the Styx one.
Half penny, 2 penny, gold cougar
Turn it
red.
over.
It's upside down.
Looks like
Darren
Smith.
Smith.
All right, there you
Gotta
are.
break through the page. Darren's the good guy.
And then what I'm going to do is, again, continental U.S., is leave a message on the YouTube page under this video. Just something you enjoyed or learned about this episode, and I will do a drawing for a Rick Savage,
Oh, that's cool.
Def Leppard pick, or we got a REO Speedwagon
Yeah.
Dave Amato pick.
So with the Rick Savage, you could say, is there anybody out there that wants a Rick Savage pick? Anybody there? Don't get me started beating on things. Josh, shut up.
All right, there we go. Let's get into Night Ranger, the 1989-1990 years, the breakup years. Brent, you saying goodbye to us?
Yeah, I got to exit, and I feel bad. I hate missing any episodes. I do want to give my one bit of Brent to this episode.
Careful what you say.
Yeah.
I was at Everybody's Records, Montgomery Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, and I opened up a Kerrang magazine. Within that Kerrang magazine was the announcement of Night Ranger's breakup. I couldn't learn it from a fucking American magazine. I had to learn it from a British magazine, and my day was shot. I mean, it didn't matter what I found in the store collectible.
Yeah.
Night Ranger had broken up after one of the greatest records they could ever make.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving, getting home, calling Andy, and pissing on his night.
Yeah, it was a sad day for us.
Just sucked. But hey, Kerrang magazine was always top notch.
There you go.
And one more little useless fact. You know how Kerrang magazine got its name?
Is that the actual episode or issue? Episode.
Yep.
Jesus.
You know how Kerrang magazine got its name?
I do not.
No.
The gentleman who started it said that sounded like a guitar. Kerrang! You know, that's how he came up with the name of the magazine.
I'll take it.
That's
Yeah,
the
there
article.
was a picture, a group picture of him without Fitz, I believe.
It was just this picture here.
Was it okay? I'm just trying to go from memory.
Wow.
Yeah, and that just ruined my forever.
Yeah,
You know.
it did. It was sad because, being fans of a band, I mean, you don't ever want it to end, especially
No.
prematurely.
So, anyway, thank God they got back together.
All
And we got
right.
to meet Josh.
Yeah.
Damn. Anyway, everybody, I love y'all. Take care, fans of motion.
All right. See you later, Brent.
See you guys.
Later. All right, now we can talk about it.
All right.
All right, so we are going to go into the 1989-1990, the Night Ranger breakup, and what they did those couple years. 1991, Night Ranger gets back together. Gary Moon, Brad, Gillis, Kelly, Keagy. So that's kind of where the Night Ranger world starts back up again. But so we're just going to concentrate on 89 and 90. Now that issue that Brent was talking about, it was the July 22nd, 89 issue of Kerrang. And there's always been this kind of myth that Night Ranger broke up. I mean, it had some truth to it. Broke up to get out of their contract. All right. That they didn't like MCA pushing the ballads. They basically had to break up to get out of the contract. So, so with this interview, it's an interview with Jeff. They talk about, MCA releasing the greatest hits without their permission. Jeff says, we had to split up because we were tired of being with a company who simply wanted us to deliver ballads or wimpy songs all the time. They didn't want us to rock. You just can't keep going faced with that kind of attitude. Eventually, we made the decision to move on after Man in Motion was released. A record the label even refused to release at one point, and put out some real rock and roll individually. We played our last show at an Air Force base in Colorado. It was a really big show that was open to the public. We knew it was going to be our last gig. We pulled out all the stops that night, but then we did every night. So that's one reason. They're saying that it's because of the record company. But there's also been other stories. Probably the easiest one is this interview by this individual, Michael Cavassini. I think it's from June of 2014. And I'll just read it to you. The question is, following the interview with Jack Blades, following the release of the 1988 album Man in Motion, Night Ranger split up for several years. What led to the breakup? And Jack responds, everybody was kind of going in different directions. Everybody wanted to write the songs. Everybody wanted to do this. Everybody wanted their own songs. I had done the majority of the songwriting, just typical BS that happens with bands. You're young and you're making a lot of dough, and all of a sudden you're really famous. Everybody's ego is blowing out, and everybody is thinking it's them that's making everything work. There's a lot of drugs and alcohol going on, and everybody's going a million miles an hour. And finally I said, all right, everybody, just have fun. Do your own thing. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy it. Have a nice life. Have a nice band. And I quit. And then he says about 5 years later, it's when he got the call for Damn Yankees. So that's a little bit different than than we are breaking up for the contract reasons. I'm sure there's a combination of everything. But the thing is, Night Ranger breaks up in late winter, early spring of 1989. And the members kind of all go their own way. You want to hit Jack first, Andrew?
Yeah, might as well.
So,
he's clearly the one who really took off.
Correct. So Jack, always says that after he left Damn Yankee, or after he left Night Ranger, about 5 days later, he got, a call about the Damn Yankees gig. So Damn Yankees, Tommy Shaw, Ted Nugent, had already formed and were together before they called Jack. In December of 88, Tommy Shaw and Ted got together to see if anything would work. They used Tommy's rhythm section, which was Michael Cardelloni and bass player, and I can't think of his damn name now. Norm was the first name. I can't think of his last name. So the first thing of Damn Yankees was Ted, Tommy, Michael Cardelloni, and this bass player Norm being the rhythm section. And during that period, They played one small live gig in New York City, and Geffen paid for a 3-song demo for them. So this is Damn, and they had the name Damn Yankees at this time. So it is Tommy, Ted, Michael, and Norm. And the 3 songs are Mystified, which ends up on the album, Come Again, which ends up on the album,
Great song.
and a song called Part of Me, which, hasn't surfaced. They do that, Geffen passes, and it kind of dissipates. They decide to bring it back together, and then that's when they call Jack. They see that Jack's available, bring Jack in to see if that'll make it work. And so Jack kind of replaces Norm, and there you have what we know of Damn Yankees today. And we'll get into more Damn Yankees down the road when we do an album focused on that. So that's how the Damn Yankees thing kind of starts with Jack, and obviously in 1990 the first Damn Yankees record's released. Like I said, I'm not going to go into that too much because we're going to do a separate episode just featuring that Damn Yankees record.
Yeah.
So I guess we could move over to Brad.
Yeah, because Jack did nothing else, right? That was his whole...
Jack went basically with breaking up from everything. It looks like Night Ranger breaks up. He gets the call about Damn Yankees all in the same week, 5 days.
We hopefully, if we ever get the chance to talk to Jack Blades, I'd love to ask him, like, what was your plan if Damn Yankees hadn't come? Like, you hadn't got that call. Were you just going to, just relax for a bit? Or were you just going to try to put a band together? Like,
well,
what was your real plan?
I don't know Jack at all. But everything I see of him, I don't think relax is in his vocabulary.
Yeah, I mean, he would have had to have done something musically.
Yeah.
He would have had to keep going.
So, I mean, who knows? But yeah, it just worked out that they needed a bass player, vocalist, and Night Ranger breaks up, and
bam,
they send him on the plane to New York. So with Brad, now this was recorded while Brad was still a Night Ranger, but I'm going to bring it up just because there's really no other place to bring it up at. So this is a record by a band called Witness. Came out in 1988. And former Brother Kane guitarist. And eventually will join Jack with Damn Yankees some. The guitar player is Damon Johnson on this record. And Brad plays on one of these tracks. I unfortunately do not think I know which track it is off the top of my head. But if you look somewhere, additional players, guitars, Neil Schon, Brad Gillis, drums, Steve Smith, Tommy Funderburk, which will end up working with Kelly Keagy here in a bit, is on there. So at this time, Brad's still signed because it's courtesy of Camel Records, but you can see up there that Brad's name is up there. So Brad plays on this Witness record released in 1988. Another record that he plays on. Now this would probably be, I would assume, after the breakup. This is released in 1989. Fiona.
Okay.
And produced by Keith Olsen. Some of the tracks were produced by Keith Olsen, so that would be the Man in Motion connection.
Yeah, it's like, he's the guy from Man in Motion.
So that's probably why or how he got that. And I don't have a record sleeve for that, so I gotta go into this cassette tape. Let's see here. Just says musicians, and just has Brad Gillis, Jamie Hunting, bass player, was in Union, Kip Winger plays on here. Dweezil Zappa, Rod Morgenstein from Winger.
Wow. Hell of a drummer.
So, and I don't see anything that says Brad Gillis, courtesy of Camel Management. So that's what kind of leads me to believe that this is after the breakup.
Yeah.
So Brad plays on this record. How much, I unfortunately don't know. Just haven't done that much research on it. What else we got? So the one band probably that gets talked about the most from Brad during this period is a band called Mega Mega. All right.
Okay.
And sometimes referred to as the Mike Reeves Band. Mega Mega, I could swear I one time saw a photo and I thought I had a picture of it, and I don't. But Mega Mega, I think, was Mike Reeves, Todd Meagher, who is, I think, Brad's friend, and was in this band. Todd Meagher co-wrote Precious Time, which is on the Mojo record.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly. That's it. When we get Brad, that's where we get the history of this. But this is the first recording of a Night Ranger member, even before Damn Yankees. So there's this compilation that's out there. It's called Hot Night in the City. And I don't know, it's FM Revolver Records. And it's a compilation. Came out in 1989. And I think it's something from in Europe, because it's UK, West Germany.
Okay.
But anyways, in there, this came out in 89, so this is before Damn Yankees. And it's listed, though, as the Mike Reeves Band. And if you look...
Oh, yeah.
You know that guy?
He looks vaguely familiar.
So it's listed as the Mike Reeves Band. And I'll read the little blurb here. A certain member of this band will need no introduction to ARR fans around the world. It's Brad Gillis, ex-guitar supremo with Night Ranger. Brad co-wrote this song with Texas songwriter Todd Meagher and produced it at his own Gil Rock Studios. Originally, the collaboration with Mike Reeves, lead vocals, guitar, started as a side project for Brad. But with the breakup of Night Ranger, Brad has now become a permanent member of the band, which has changed its name to Mega Mega. Fallen Angel is taken from the original Mike Reeves Band recording sessions and is a fine FM rocker, rather like Night Ranger at its best. So it looks like he was working with this Mike Reeves guy. Night Ranger breaks up, and now it's going to go from the Mike Reeves Band to Mega Mega.
Mega Mega.
But this comes out first before anything else that's out there. With Mega Mega. Now, this movie, you probably know, came out in 1991.
Yeah, don't tell Mom it was Christina Applegate.
Yes,
right?
Don't tell Mom that Babysitter's dead.
I don't know who else is in it.
Either do I. But
she's so hot.
At one time, this CD was $15.99.
Wow.
But it's not on the soundtrack, but there are two Brad Gillis connections to this. During one of the scenes, Stampede, that was on Gil Rock Ranch, plays. It's not on the soundtrack, but you can hear it, playing, and it's credited. Also, there's another song on there, and I got to get the info here. It's a song called Children of Fire, performed by Mike Reeves, again, the Mike Reeves Band, written by Todd Meagher and Brad Gillis. So that Children of Fire song, I think you can find it on YouTube. That track is another Mega Mega, Mike Reeves, whatever, but it's written by Brad. So you can find that out there if you look. So that's what Brad's kind of doing in that time period of. So
I don't know if you might have said, or did I miss it? Was Mega Mega ever released, or was it released as Mike Reeves?
Well, nothing was ever released as Mega Mega, as far as
Okay.
I know. I know they did demos.
But we never saw it.
Obviously, that one track that's on that compilation was recorded as Mike Reeves, and now they're going to become a band, Mega Mega. At this 1991 date, when this is released, I don't know if Night Ranger's getting back together. So if that's the case, well, don't promote Mega Mega. There's nothing there. Promote Mike Reeves and Brad Gillis. That's why it's is what it is. That's just me speculating. And
can I also ask you, just slightly off topic, but along with movies and not credited, I think it's Tommy Boy is My Hallucination from Shaw Blades on that soundtrack. I don't want to get ahead.
I think it is on the soundtrack
because they're singing it in that one scene.
Well,
it kind of plays.
It's on the sound. It's not uncommon for not every song not to make it onto onto the soundtrack. It's still credited in the movie. Rumors in the Air was on 16 Candles,
right?
But it was not on the original soundtrack release.
Yeah.
So, and then Derek Sherinian was also, his first band was Mega Mega. Wow. And Brad kind of gave him his first start, and he was the keyboard player for Mega Mega. And he got hired by Alice Cooper, so he ended up leaving, but he said Mega Mega imploded organically. It was happening at the time that I left.
Yeah.
So, but Derek Sherinian got his start. And here's a quote Sherinian had said, "In terms of what Mega Mega sounded like, Sherinian indicated, oh man, that was really bad 80s music, bad haircuts and all. It just wasn't any good. It was a huge miss, but I was flattered that Brad wanted me to do it and we gave it our best shot." Now, who knows? I mean,
right.
I'm sure that if we got the hold of the demos, we would think differently. But that's what Sherinian said a couple years ago.
I mean, and side note, there was a lot of bad 80s music.
Yeah, I mean, and
I love it, but you with 2021 eyes, you look back at it, her ears, you're like,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, I still want to hear it. I still like Brad's guitar playing, and I mean, that's all I want to hear is Brad's guitar playing. But there you go. You got Brad with that music there.
Mike Reeves and Mega Mega, and then on to
Kelly Keagy. So
the legend.
Let's talk about Kelly and Jeff. Kind of overlap on this record right here.
Heist.
Not bad, not good, but not bad. It's very, very dated rock, but catchy stuff. I listen to this more than some other stuff. And some things about it. I think Alden Nova had something to do with this record. I think he plays on it. Came out in 1989. So Ronnie Montrose plays guitar on a few tracks. Maybe it was Ronnie Montrose who I was thinking of, and not whoever the hell I just said.
Yeah,
but Jeff Watson plays additional guitar on Sink and Pink and One More Dream, and courtesy of Camel MCA. So he's still under management, still by them. But this, even though the connection is this is Muscle Records, it's distributed by MCA Records. That's where a little bit of a connection is there. What's crazy is Sink and Pink is just a rock and roll song. But One More Dream, which Jeff plays guitar on is a minute 42, and it's just an instrumental. So It's weird they bring him on for the instrumental. And then Kelly Keagy provides additional background vocals. So not a bad CD. If you like 80s rock, you're not going to go wrong picking it up. But
Yeah.
Jeff and Kelly both appear on this record. And probably, like I said, the biggest thing then with Kelly during that time period would be this band, King of Hearts. A lot of variations of this released. So, Lance Rushing posted something a few months ago, a little blurb he had in a magazine, where it talked about Kelly forming a band called Emotional Wreck, and they were changing their name to King of Hearts. So originally, this band was called Emotional Wreck, or Rex, or something like that. And
Yeah.
Lance Rushing is the one that posted that. So this was recorded for Polygram, but never released. So you can see this. I don't know if this is an official release or not, but King of Hearts, they just titled 1989. That's when they recorded it. And they shelved it, and this was not really released till 1994. So you do have some photos there. Kelly's all the way in the back. It's kind of hard to see there, but you can see Kelly a little bit better right there.
Yeah, definitely see what that is.
And the crazy thing is Kelly only sings on one song. I think it's in So Many Words. And he only sings half the song.
Okay.
Now, Tommy Thunderberg has sang backup vocals on about every record. I don't know, one of the records I just showed, The Witness, or one of those had Tommy Thunderberg as backup vocals. So
sure.
He's a big-time vocalist. This was really his band. So Timothy Schmidt and Randy Meisner sing backing vocals, a little bit of Eagles.
Nice.
But very melodic. So Kelly is in this for a hot minute. They eventually record an album or two later on, but it's without Kelly. This band does.
Yeah.
So this is the only thing Kelly's on. So Heist and this record is kind of what Kelly's working on for Polygram Records during that time period of 89 and 90. Then Jeff, again, working on this record.
Yeah.
But Jeff does a band called Barnaby Wild. Now, it goes Barnaby Wild, and I think it morphs in back into the Jeff Watson group. But I do have some stuff out there. He actually toured with... So I have... So there again, this would be great to have Jeff on. So there's a girl on our page, Patty Soros, who saw Barnaby Wild in Detroit.
Yep.
And she sent me her photos. I'll post them to the page. They're great photos. It's from 1990. And I'll show an old post that she made. So you can see...
Look at that.
The band there and the ticket.
Oh, that's so great.
She doesn't remember a lot of it. It's been so long ago. But Cracker Jacks in Detroit presents Barnaby Wild, Detroit's Olympia, July 22nd, 1990. It's a Sunday.
I guarantee you there are not a lot of those ticket stubs laying around.
No. Looks like it was $18. Well, then there's another thing that says $7.
Yeah. Like once you get all Ticketmaster's fees in there.
But anyways, so you got that. I found this. I didn't really realize it was the next day until later. This was found in an obscure place, just the photo. So no one's pretty much seen this until now. It says concert. I don't know what city. Club Soda, Barnaby Wild, Jeff Watson, Night Ranger.
Wow.
It's the next night. So Monday, July 23rd.
Where's that at? Does it say?
I don't know. 1055 Homer. Let me see where the hell 10.
So I'll look up Club Soda and see what that is.
1055 Homer. Well, hey, it's right down the road, Logan, Ohio. Yeah, I don't know.
There's also one in Canada, but I don't think that's the one they played.
Well, it could be. I mean, Detroit's right there depending on where it's at in Canada. But
it was one in Fort Wayne too.
Well, that could be it. That would make sense from Detroit. So yeah, anyways, there you go. Jeff Watson, toured with this Barnaby Wild group. Now, who is in Barnaby Wild? I don't know. There's some photos that are floating around. This is one.
Yeah.
But there's this one here that Jeff posted. Spike Orberg, Jeff Watson, Jesse Bradman, David Sykes, and Bob Giles in my old band Around the Sun, 89 or 90. So I just don't know if I would assume that this would be first. Number one, I'll show you this picture. Looking at their outfits.
Ooh, buddy.
All right. And then Jesse probably leaves to go do this band called Saint and Sinner. So he's probably gone by the time Barnaby Wild starts taking place. And then this would be probably more of Barnaby Wild right here.
Yeah.
Again, I'd have to talk to Jeff. Here is a picture of Jeff during that time period playing with Steve Morse. So it's Barnaby Wild with Steve Morse, who's with Deep Purple now, performing. So there's no material out there to listen to, but he, of the three is touring. He's obviously doing a tour of the Midwest. We've got Detroit and Fort Wayne there.
And we can assume, it's an original band, right? It's not covers.
I would assume it's
probably some covers, but it's the right music.
The covers would probably be them playing a few Night Ranger songs.
Yeah, but there's no official release or anything. There's nothing out there.
I know they recorded.
Because here's the thing: how would you go see them? What would be the reason to go see them unless it's Jeff Watson?
Well, just like that promotional photo showed, come see Jeff Watson with Barnaby Wild. But I know they recorded. What they recorded, I don't know.
It's just never been released.
Yeah, I do know that they recorded. And we know Mega recorded. And I've gotten my archives pretty well organized. Like, I have it by, era and everything. And it was great. Today I'm going and I need this, and I'm finding them right away. And the one damn thing I can't find is I got an 8x10 of the Jeff Watson Band from 90, 91. Rare. I've never seen it more than once. And it's not where it should be, so I don't have it. But
blame your son.
Yeah, I can't blame him for that one. So there you got what Jeff was doing in that time period. And then last but not least is Fitz. Now, Fitz was already out of Night Ranger by Man in Motion.
Hang on, let me jump in real quick. When did Lone Ranger?
Lone Ranger was 92, 93, somewhere in there. 92, I think. Okay. Lone Ranger's 92. I think Gill Rock Ranch is 93.
Okay. I was just trying to... I know they did some stuff.
Yeah, so eventually... and I did forget with Brad. It's a little bit later. It's 91, but Brad did put a track on this.
Oh, yeah.
Galaxy 500, track 3, which is, again, probably the beginning of, Mega, or maybe, because Shrinian comes back and does a lot of work on Gill Rock Ranch.
Okay.
So I would say this is probably more from when they're with Mega, because it's copyright 1990. So this is composed by Brad Gillis and Derek Shrinian, Brad, Derek, John Prock on bass, and Ronnie Seif on drums. A year after the breakup of Night Ranger, I felt anxious about getting back into the musical fray. Galaxy 500 was the first song I recorded in my new studio, and it felt so good doing an instrumental song. We decided to do a full instrumental album. For this song, I tried guitar melodies that would be used in a vocal approach. The object would start out with a little soul and end up in high gear. So, it's copyrighted 1990. This was released, though, in 1991. So there is another Brad Gillis track out there you can get, Galaxy 500.
Nice to know all that stuff.
And then with Fitz,
the man.
From what I understand, Fitz he was a keyboard tech for Van Halen for the Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour, and he does balance as well. I don't think he did VH3. Well, I know he didn't do VH3.
Yeah.
But so he does. He's basically, a roadie doing the keyboard text. Now he does play some off stage. So there'd be a black tent that was kind of off stage, and that's where Fitz was, and they're playing. But, he was listed as a keyboard technician. In 1993, this record is released.
Yeah.
From that, for that Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour. And if you look in here, I don't know if I'll be able to find it right away. I know it's here, though. Right there, you'll see keyboard tech somewhere in there.
Yeah, you can't see it.
And it's
there it is.
Alan Fitzgerald.
There it is, yeah.
So he's on the road doing this. Still not bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's an easy gig for him.
Getting to play some Van Halen stuff, and then it's at this time as well that they start forming the alliance and getting some of that started as well with David Lauser from the Sammy Hagar Band, Gary Peel from Sammy Hagar Band Boston, and then Robert Barry, who had done some work with Carl Palmer and Keith Emerson.
Yeah.
So he basically replaced Greg Lake and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. But there you are. So that's kind of where you get Night Ranger, and then you kind of get this weird little time period where they're all kind of off on their own during these breakup years. Fitz continues to do the Van Halen thing all the way up to the Night Ranger kind of reunion which would have been 96. Jeff does his solo album. He does Mother's Army. I think he does some work with Chris Isaac.
That's a wicked game.
Yep.
I couldn't help that one.
And then obviously Jack has the success with Damn Yankees and Don't Tread and Shaw Blades. And then Brad and Kelly get back together and reform Night Ranger and get Gary Moon in there. And that's what you have from 91 till the original member reunion in 96. So there you go. A little bit of the Night Ranger history.
Yeah, an odd time for Night Ranger fans. Struggling to find anything from these guys, and we didn't have the internet to do the work for us back then. I'll say I also I don't remember who posted it. I wish I had the time to look it up, but somebody posted a video from Van Halen doing a daytime show in Texas.
Yep, it was a makeup.
I want to say
show.
Dallas.
Yeah, I think it was a makeup show for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see Sammy go, "Hey, tell Fitz what the next song is or something," and that's cool because I don't know how much they actually acknowledged that there was a guy off stage playing the keys. And most people probably didn't know nor cared who it was, but I liked seeing that. That made me smile. I was like, "Yeah, Fitz."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sammy was loyal to his guys, so Fitz...
He really is, and that's awesome. When we talk to Sammy, that's going to be awesome to bring up.
Yeah. I tell you what, if you're listening to this, go on the YouTube page and post, where were you when you heard Night Ranger break up? We were shopping in Columbus, Ohio. I was with my stepdad, and I think I had my younger brothers in the car. And for my birthday or something, I saw that Night Ranger Greatest Hits had come out. And I didn't read, how old am I? 12, 11, somewhere in there. And, I just wanted it to complete my collection. So I think I stayed in the car while he went in and bought it. And I stayed in the car with, with my little brothers. And when he came out, he said the guy working had said Night Ranger had broke up. That guy had heard the Night Ranger had broke up. And I just remember, like, I didn't even know what that meant almost. You know what I mean? Like, like, how can they break up and not be together? And
it didn't make sense.
Yeah, it really kind of impacted me. And, like, well, who's my favorite band now? I mean, I liked Aerosmith and Motley Crue. They were my other two go-tos, but I didn't have, I mean, even at that point, I'm only 11, but I've been a Night Ranger fan for 6 years, I mean.
But most of your life.
Yeah, pretty much, I mean, I start listening to them at 6 or 7. So, yeah.
You should have walked in and punched that guy in his dirty whore mouth.
I should have.
Take it back.
Ask for a stool or something first so I could get, reach that high, but I probably still need to do that. But yeah, that's where I was. It was outside of a music store called Coconuts.
Oh yeah. I remember the name. I can't tell you where.
Yeah,
I was
we had a few of them in Columbus. There was Coconuts, then your staples, the Camelot musics and stuff. But
yeah,
this was outside. Probably the only time I ever bought anything at Coconuts. I really never went there much. But yeah, that's where I was, and then I remember, being the air coming back in my lungs when my aunt said that she had saw a video and it was with Jack Blades was in it and a new band. I was like,
yeah,
there's something else I can have again. So I remember waiting up while trying to find it on MTV at my buddy's house one time. But yeah, so there we go. The
that's
89, 90, the breakup years.
I know, and I don't know if you want to touch on this later. So if you do, we can just not mention it. But was Watson ever considered for the Mojo era, or do we want to talk about that in another time, or do we know?
We know. I mean, Gary talked about it some. Jeff has talked about it. So if they're both talking about it, I mean, I'll talk about it. Yes, Jeff was there in the beginning, and then he wasn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeff, I think even Jeff said in the interview, and again, don't quote me on this. There was an interview that I read. It wasn't his decision not to be there.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but that's what I think.
Kind of the vibe you get from it.
And then I think with the other guys, they kind of wanted to go with that power trio type thing, and that kind of left Jeff out. I'm sure there's more than that. I mean, but yes, Jeff was originally there in the beginning.
When we get the Jeff Watson exclusive interview, we have to get to the bottom of these questions.
But yes, Jeff has talked about it, before. Like I said, if I remember correctly, he wasn't the one that didn't want to continue on with it. I could be wrong. I don't know, but yeah, it was, and it was Camel management. I mean, it was their same managers that were managing them when they broke up that wanted to get Night Ranger back together. Their management, Camel management and Bruce Bird, from what I understand, are the ones that said, okay, the name's still here. Let's, do something with it, and got Kelly and Brad and at the beginning, Jeff back to do something. So,
well, I'll say this. I remember, like you, when I heard that first, when I heard Coming of Age from Damn Yankees, man, it was like a sigh of relief, because at least I was like, okay, this to me is close to Night Ranger, and I'll take it. And luckily, the first CD was fantastic. I love the first Damn Yankees CD, and I had it on repeat endlessly when it first came out. I mean, I played that thing. Well, I only had one CD, if people can remember back to those days, I bought a CD player. I've mentioned it before. I was $300 for this little bookshelf CD system I bought, and I had enough to buy the player and one CD, and I bought Damn Yankees. So I just put it on repeat every night when I went to bed. So it would play for 8-9 hours a night while I slept, just drilling into my head, dressed to kill, looking dynamite. I'm like, yeah. The sweater's so tight. Yeah, I love it. So, yeah, it was at least a glimmer of hope that I would still get something that was close to Night Ranger. It wasn't quite Night Ranger, but it was close. Mm-hmm. And I took it. I'll take it at the time.
Yeah, and like I knew a little. I mean, you got to remember, Ted Nugent was nobody to me because I didn't grow up with Ted Nugent. I didn't listen to classic rock radio or whatever. So Ted Nugent, his career was at the bottom of as it could be. Same with
his heyday come and gone.
Tommy Shaw. Again, I only knew of Ted Nugent because my aunt had old records of him. And I had looked at one and was like, Ted Nugget? And
he looks weird.
And then Tommy Shaw, ironically enough, my aunt had bought one of his solo records, Ambition, if I remember correctly, for $0.25 at some event we were at. And, I was like, who's Tommy Shaw? And she's like, he's in Styx. And so I'm thinking, that's a shitty name. I'm thinking like Tree Sticks and stuff,
Yeah.
And so out of coincidence, I just knew who those two guys were when my aunt said, hey, he's with a band with Tommy Shaw and Ted Nugent. And then, like I said, I remember staying the night at my buddy's house that night. And I want to say it was opening day. We watched opening day baseball that night. And then that morning I woke up early and just kept MTV on. And they eventually played Coming of Age. And I saw Jack Blades and went out and got the record and everything. And
I remember first time I saw that video, I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest video MTV's ever going to play.
Yep. And so it was good that they were.
They were on top of a skyscraper.
Yeah.
They would have made that cool if they'd been in a spark factory with chains on.
And it's good that they had the songs. Not necessarily Jack, but Tommy and Ted were out of options. Tommy's solo career was done. Ted's solo career, studio-wise, was done. And he could always tour, but that's why they were pairing them together. Like, what else? Their manager's like, well, we need something. They can't. I don't even think Tommy had a deal. Ted may not even had a deal with Atlantic anymore because think how many bad albums he had there in the 80s. So, they got lucky that they got those songs. And, the big thing is, you get that, you still got Ted's name. Ted's name brings a lot to that band.
Sure.
I've always said you could have released Coming of Age on the next Night Ranger album, and it wouldn't have done anything because that band name was shot. The best thing they could have did at that point was have a brand new band and new image, and it worked.
Yeah.
Think about it. You couldn't give away Tommy Shaw, Ted Nugent records. You couldn't give away Man in Motion.
No.
And they get together, and suddenly you got something new and hot. And it was good songs too. But
well, and I didn't say. Off the top of my head, I have to look at the track listing, but I always felt that Coming of Age and High Enough felt like Night Ranger songs to me. I know that they weren't. I always thought High Enough was, and I think you've informed me that I was actually written with Tommy and Jack. But
written while Tommy and Jack were doing laundry.
Doing laundry, right?
If I remember correctly, and Jack was humming part of it, and Tommy.
But if you go down that track listing, those felt like Night Ranger songs. To me,
yeah. I could always kind of pick out what wasn't. What's funny is I knew right away Mystified wasn't a Night Ranger song. I knew Come Again wasn't.
And that's a great song. I love Come Again, but
And then
it did have the Night Ranger feel.
Then when I found out, Pile Driver's not.
Maybe Damn Yankees.
To me, the most Night Ranger song was Tell Me How You Want It. That, to me, seemed more... That was the most Night Ranger song, I thought. The other ones all had a little bit of a feel, but... if I had to say, okay, that's a leftover Night Ranger song, it's Tell Me How You Want It.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good record. We'll get into the Damn Yankees record. And I wish it'd just be nice if we had, more stuff from, Mega and Barnaby Wild and all that just to hear. There's some stuff, like I said, you can listen to. You can get that CD and hear the one track, the Mike Reeves Band with Brad Gillis, and you do have the King of Hearts record. But again, it's just Kelly playing drums, not singing.
Right.
So, but there you go. If you got any questions or anything, send us a message, leave us a comment on the YouTube page, number 1, to enter into the contest. But let us know where you were when Night Ranger broke up. And go track down some of this music if you can. Like I said, the Alliance stuff or that High CD's pretty good. And if you haven't, go check out the first Damn Yankee CD.
And if you haven't done that, we need to have a conversation.
Yeah, where the fuck you been for the last 30 years?
I mean, come on now.
But but yeah, find us. Everything is off of the Facebook page. Just go to Facebook, Fans of Motion, Night Ranger Tribute. Find us, join, click subscribe on the YouTube page.
Yes.
Go to the website, fansofmotion.com. You can download it there, listen to it there. You can go and there's a link. You can listen to us on Spotify and Pandora, iHeartRadio, Apple, iPhones, iTunes, wherever the hell there's an
podcast.
Stitcher, Audio Mac, all that stuff. You can get your Night Ranger talk wherever you want, man.
Hot.
The hot Night Ranger talk.
Nowhere else on the planet will you get this much hot Night Ranger conversation.
Or at least all the information. I don't know how hot it is, but you at least get some of the good details of all what's out there. So,
well, and you got to say something, Josh. While we got a few minutes here, we touched on it in the opening of the show, but membership, not membership, I guess members, it's up. We are growing. Tons of people are finding this page. It's awesome. This again, I maybe I'm more astounded by it than you guys, but when I see the numbers climbing the way they're climbing, and I still remember day one when we were all just kind of talking about what are our plans for this? What do we think this can become? And at the time of this recording, we're knocking on 3,400 members on the page. Downloads are up. We are getting the prime interviews that we've been striving for. So thank you to everybody. I mean, just a quick thank you, and please continue to share with your friends and anybody that has any interest in this great band who are still out there touring and still writing great music. Come join the family.
It's a good time to be a Night Ranger fan. You got some new music coming out. You got a central place for everybody to meet, and it's only going to get better with the new record coming out and everybody being able to hopefully start going to shows.
Yes.
It's a good time. So,
all right, everybody. Well, that's another fun episode. I hope if you're still listening at this point, thank you so much, and we will see you the next time. And